everyone, welcome back. So I've been wanting to post a video about my health, and a few weeks ago I was getting ready to post one and just like tell you how great I was doing. I was doing really well for like 3 or 4 weeks. We had been sick a few months in the winter and we came back from those and I was feeling great. And then I had a huge flare up. It was awful. So I'm going to read to you just a couple pages out of this book. This is Dr. Natasha's Blue Gaps book. And these books have helped me so much because it's so hard to find. If you truly believe your body's healing yourself, it's so hard to find certain things, like when you're in the midst of these awful flare-ups. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share a snippet of what I went through about a week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm still recovering and dealing with symptoms, which is fine because my body is working on something. I know it's working on something. I'm actually having like massive amounts of SIBO, which is a bacteria and parasite imbalance in your small intestines, and I am belching around the clock. It's so much gas that it's like it can push on my heart. And you know, Dr. Natasha has said like the gas, if you have this much gas, it'll offset your heart and you'll have irregular heartbeats like while I'm sleeping because I'm not belching like I am throughout the day. So I think I've always had this toxicity just sitting in my small intestines, and I've always had this belching and stuff. My body, after drinking meat stock for a few weeks and really adding lots of yolks and other things, it was like ready to deal with it. So I'm going to read these 2 pages so you can maybe be encouraged. Maybe be encouraged if you're dealing with a flare-up, and just know that if you're doing all the right things, hopefully these symptoms are a good sign of healing. Okay, so this chapter is called Healing. Healing goes through stages. It's like peeling an onion. The body peels off the outer layer of disease, and you start feeling better than before. Then the body accumulates enough resources to start peeling the next layer of disease, and you start to feel ill again. Once that layer of disease is removed, you feel better again, until the body decides to peel off the next layer. Please understand, this is your own body that heals itself, not the doctor, not the diet, not the medicine, or the supplements. The bodies in the Western world, bodies of people in the Western world today accumulate countless numbers of man-made poisons, all of which cause damage, manifesting as a long list of disease. When you start the GAPS nutritional protocol, your body will start removing toxins and heal the damage. But it cannot deal with all of it at once, because that would take a lot of resources your body may not have. In order to deal with all the damage, your body has to prioritize what part of the illness and what must be dealt with first, and what must wait a while. Once the first part is dealt with, the body will start on the second priority. Depending on how ill you are and how much healing your body has to accomplish, the list of priorities can be quite long. So don't be disheartened if a particular symptom does not disappear for a year or 2. Pay attention to the symptoms that are going or have already gone. For example, she gets into an overweight person. They might not lose weight for a few years because they have so much other damage to their body. A common feature, now this is what I went through, of this onion peeling is a histamine intolerance, mast cell disorder, or other allergic type reactions or conditions. After a fairly long period of feeling better on the GAPS nutritional protocol, which is how I felt, people may start to feel as if their whole body's inflamed. They start reacting to various foods, chemicals, and even emotions. Very often these people are diagnosed with a health condition, which signifies that the immune system has launched a full body inflammation. As uncomfortable as it is, we need to understand that inflammation is our friend. It's the best way the body has to kill infections, neutralize, and remove toxins. If you have felt well on the diet for quite a long time, and then suddenly develop systemic, which means something throughout your whole body, maybe hormonal or just general inflammation, it means your body has made a decision that now it has enough strength to start a whole new level of healing. It has enough resources to attack and remove pathogenic microbes and toxins, which it was not strong enough to deal with before, and has got to the next layer of the onion. I'm going to stop there, but I thought that was very pertinent. And okay, so I am going to transition into my episode. It's very raw. It's very hard to watch, but I want to put it out there in case other people are experiencing this. I know when I'm in the middle of these flare-ups and detoxes, I almost felt like I was having even autoimmune symptoms with this flare-up, but all I wanted to do was just hear what other people had experienced. After the first initial 3 days of the terrible breathing and everything, I had to transition out of it very slowly. I did not do any hot detox baths. I was working up to like almost 50 minutes with a cup of like Epsom salt, which is a pretty intense detox bath. And I didn't start near that, maybe half of that, half the time, half the amount in a week later. I was really weak. And I certainly wasn't doing any sort of cleansing enemas or enemas at all. But I didn't feel like I needed them. I was still going to the bathroom. Anyways, you'll see in the video. But it definitely hit me hard. I stepped back. I continued drinking meat stock because that's the only thing I could tolerate. I couldn't really tolerate a lot of the foods that I was previously eating. I went back basically to the early intro stages, and that kept me going and helped ease my breathing symptoms really well. So with that, thanks for watching, and here you go. Hey guys, sorry for this terrible lighting. So I just want to capture everything I'm going through, because when I'm going through these awful emotions and feelings, and I mean, there's points in the past few days where I'm like, I just wish I was dead because I'm so tired of feeling this way. I get a lot of respiratory distress, and when I feel like I can't breathe, it's really disheartening and discomforting. So I just want to share what this healing, I think it's a healing detox episode, has been looking like for me. I have my little nightlight. Sorry. I've been fighting a cold for about 2 weeks. I had all sorts of like itchiness. My tongue would be itchy. I'd be sneezing. Constant drainage. And I was like, well, I know colds can be cleansing, so this is just a cleansing thing that's going to happen. And then about 3 days ago, I felt like I couldn't breathe. And that's how I felt when I was pregnant with Finn and had a huge flare-up. I have been like nibbling on extra sauerkraut, adding a little kefir to my juicing a little extra, adding egg yolks, doing heavy detox baths, doing a few extra enemas because I thought I was fighting a cold, and I was really trying to like just kick this darn cold. I couldn't kick it. I think ultimately I was in a detox process. And while I had been taking things to support my liver, my lungs still had a burden on them. So I guess it was 2 nights ago I felt almost hypoxic. I felt like I couldn't move in bed. I couldn't talk I just couldn't. I didn't have air. I kept going to the bathroom. And I kept having a feeling of like, almost like an aura, like my whole body was like, I thought it was actually a seizure flare-up. But it would just get this like cool feeling around my whole body. And within 10 minutes, I'd go to the bathroom. That happened another hour later and another hour later. Then it happened the next morning. It happened like 5 times. So I thought, well, that's a good thing. It's actually not diarrhea. It's not like this reactionary bowel movement. My body's rooting of something. But I couldn't breathe still. That night, I could hardly move in bed. So yesterday, I stayed in bed until like noon. Actually, I think it was 2. Finally was able to walk around a little bit. I was drinking tons of meat stock. That seemed to be the huge help to me. And so I drank 4 cups of meat stock, felt a lot better, enough to get out of bed. I tried some juice. I can't tell if juicing my GAPS milkshakes are helping me or not. I ate only what sounded good, which was like cooked meats, maybe like cooked cabbage, but certainly nothing raw, nothing hard to digest. So I was able to sit up with the family for a little bit. I ended up feeling decent by the end of the night last night. I slept good, except for I would feel like I had to like stretch in my sleep, and then like my heart would feel like it was racing, which can be a sign of histamines, which is also related to die-off. Histamines can happen when there's just so many things dying in your body, like pathogens. They just release all these histamines, and depending on how well your detox channels are, or if it's just so much, they can cause a reaction, which I think, looking back, is the itchy stuff. Histamines are similar to like what cause seasonal allergies. So I think it was related to that cold, might have been the beginning of this die-off. A lot of die-offs go in waves. So this is 2 days into it with the breathing. And I had another feeling like I just need to go lay down in bed. I had another like aura type feeling, and I'm going to the bathroom. But my stool is sinking, which is huge. That means my liver is actually making enough bile to digest the fats in my food, which is very unique to me. My liver's always been congested. The reason this is good is that means my lungs have a chance to heal if the liver is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And despite how awful my lungs feel, I'm just going to trust in the process for right now that they're going to work. And I'm eating lots of cholesterol, and I can't tolerate too many animal fats just yet in meat stock, though, to help my lungs. That's what I do for my lungs. So the fact that my stools are sinking, I actually don't feel awful, other than like feeling like I'm not getting enough oxygen. Like my energy's not bad. My mental clarity is okay. So I really wonder if this is just like a big old, like my liver woke up and now I'm going through this huge, like, it's just like, I need to get this out. I need to get this out. I don't know. I can't laugh because I can't breathe. Anyways, I wanted to get into a whole video of my healing and the 2 different phases of healing, which I think I was getting into the second phase based on my levels of inflammation and food reactions and stuff like that. So I'm hoping this is just another part of the healing process. With all the heavy metals or metal and toxicity and Roundup exposure I have, I really think a lot. It's going to just take a little while. And it's going to take extra effort for my liver to unburden itself and the rest of my body from this. So I'll leave it at that. I know I don't want this to be too long. It's a dark video, hard to watch. But I wanted to capture some of the things I've been going through the past 2 weeks. It's been a little bit tricky, and I even had one night where I was sleeping and I felt like every other hour I would have like an adrenal rush. Like, I'm trying to sleep. My body's like stimulating itself. So I don't know if like my body is like going to different organs and putting inflammation there to like get all those toxins out and just like finish cleaning that area up. I don't know. That's what I'm going to trust it's doing, because there's no way to know. And I trust the GAPS process. I've read so many GAPS stories. It's definitely hard to go through this if you don't have a practitioner or somebody to talk to, or that you can't find like an exact story. But anyway, we'll see how the next few days go. Usually when you have a detox wave, like when I had rashes, it's like a massive rash. And then either a few days or 10 days later, you have another rash. It's like Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear from the three bear, Goldilocks. And it's not as bad. And then you have a last rash that's just a tiny little, I had a little speck at the end. No itchiness, no bruising. Where the other two were like 8 to 9 inch rashes with bruising, and it was bizarre. So I'm hoping that this is part of the breathing issues were worse the first day, a couple days later, not as bad, and that it'll just pass. Whatever my body's trying to clear, it clears. So hopefully this is a positive message if somebody is struggling. Maybe somebody can relate. I don't know. I hope this helps even just one person. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.